Hi, I'm Myko with TailSpin Tools. In today's video, we're going to join the ends of an 11-inch wide carcass with through dovetails.
Out
First,
both
I'm going to
sides.
show you how I put the spacing in. Then I'm going to lay them out, cut them, and put the boards together. I hope to do this in 2 continuous shots, and I'm going to try and keep both boards in the frame for the entire time. Wish me luck. Let's get started.
To start my layout, I use this double square, just because it's about the right size, to lay out my half pins at the ends of the boards. Then I take a divider that has been set for an even walk-off down the board to land on the other pin, and I make a small mark in the spot where I want each pin. Then I use this small square to lay out both sides of each of my pins. I do this for each location, and this provides me with the collinear marks for laying out both the pins and the tails. When marking out, we want to mark with the outside faces facing us. So what I'm going to do now is, starting with the pin board, I'm going to move the outside faces so that they'll be facing. Now with my pin board locked in the vise, take my marking gauge, which is preset for what I need, and mark out my baseline. With the baseline done, bring this little sample board into play. This is set up with the outside and inside surfaces, and this gives me a reference point for marking out the pins and the tails. The tails are pretty straightforward, but keeping the surfaces straight is important for the pins. So to start out, I'm going to put our pencil on the collinear mark, slide our tool into place, and mark the surfaces. Bring the second tool into contact and mark the surfaces. And we just work our way down the line. Put the pencil in the mark, swap tools, and continue. We are allowing the calibrated surfaces to do the work for us. Instead of using an angle gauge and eyeballing everybody, you just put a pencil on the mark, and we know that the collinear surfaces will take care of everything. The only thing you have to concentrate on is getting your pencil onto the collinear mark. Now with the pins marked out, we just have to mark out our waist. And we can start cutting. I use guide blocks to cut my lines. We always want to keep the saw on the waist side of the line. We want to touch the line without taking the line completely. So I'll slide my guide block into place. And just work our way down the board. lot of folks who work from one side only because of the muscle memory. That's why marking all three edges of the board is important. You can actually flip this around if you want to. I'm not going to do that. I've got an opposing guide block, and I've gotten very good at estimating the kerf that I'm creating. And for this final cut, I'll need to reverse the board. We've got no meat for the guide block, so we've got to turn it around. And now that we're back in play, I can make my final cut. With that done, I can set about removing the waste. With the bulk of the waste removed, we'll move on to our tail board. With our boards reversed, we'll mark our baseline for our tail board. Baseline for the tails goes on all four edges. With our baselines in, we can start marking out our tails. I've got my sample board back in place. We put our pencil on our collinear mark and start working. Reverse the tools and continue. Each time we move to the next piece, all we're doing is sliding our tools into contact and working our way down the board. And with those marked, mark out our waste. We have just marked an entire set of dovetails without affecting a transfer. And we can move on to cutting our joint. And as before, a quick flip. And we can make our last cut. And it's time to take out the waste. In order to cut the shoulders, I'm gonna have to turn you a little bit so they can see the end of the board. I have a square guide block. I just come right in on the shoulder line. And that completes our cutting of the joint. Now we're going to set up for chopping. Chopping out the waste is pretty straightforward, and I'm just going to roll through it. That's the chopping of the pin board. I'm getting camera warning on the battery, so I'm going to turn this off for a moment and I'll be back with the tail board. Okay, we're back. And nothing's changed. And we're going to swap out. And we're going to work on our tail board. We've got a smaller chisel. just a little bit of saw fuzz. This chisel is just shy of full width for this cut. Get in here and just do a little bit of clean out. All I'm doing is clearing debris. I've not done any paring or any adjustments to the joint. Go with a wider view. Change that a bit. Now, with the outside face of my pin board and my vise, I'm going to introduce these two to each other for the first time. And I gotta say, except for a slight miscut on this corner, that is an extremely acceptable result. On this corner, I cut on the wrong side of the waistline. Considering there's been no paring, no cleanup, no knife work done on this joint at all, the fit on the rest is really, really good.